Well, actually, food security today is much more complicated than it was some decades ago, because now we are facing at the same time the challenges of food security and sustainable production. And this means that many production systems in the world are not sustainable. So we need to reformulate all the production system for a more friendly to the environment system. This is possible, and this means a new way of defining agricultural policies. Agricultural policies are not just farm policies, are looking at the consumer, at the environment, at the food security. So it's a much more complex system, and the challenge for agricultural politicians is just to try to look not at a single farmer, but as this global, holistic way of rethinking food security. Well, actually, in Argentina, 30 years ago, we were implementing public policies that were destroying the soil, and yields were not so good. And so we have been working in changing the approach for a more environment-friendly production system. At the same time, I think in Africa it's much more important how we organize production and how we conduct the technical assistance, because I think production is not, and this is the case that has been very successful in Argentina. The farmer is not just a single farmer doing everything. Research, production, trade, services provided into the farm. We have been trying to develop networks, and but this means that we need to develop organizations, farm organizations that would be supporting the private sector or the individual. And today we have business models that are very complex, including somebody doing the research, somebody doing the production, somebody bringing the financing to that farm, somebody doing the services for machinery, for improving the quality of the good, and then all over the value chain. So the big challenge is a new approach in terms of production systems, a new approach in terms of farm organization or production organization. You know that agriculture is facing every day difficulties because it's subject to climate and pests and many different problems. We need to have a much more freer system in which there are no barriers for exports and no barrier for imports, because the best way to have a more secure food security and more sustainable food security is trying to use trade as a way to complement. In some moments it's just seasonally or in 1 year, but in general how we decide to specialize in some goods and not in other ones. When you limit exports or when you limit imports, then you are not working for food security. So what I propose, and we have an organization doing that, is that in WTO we touch all the issues related to food security, and we have new rules related to towards the elimination of all kinds of trade barriers.